Hey, welcome back to Nomads Survive. Recently, I designed the vehicles used by the Nomads in this universe to travel at speeds faster than the speed of light. This concluded with designs for a concept called cosmic sailing. We developed a design called the spacetourer, which is just a minor spaceship which can attach itself to a mothership called a space tracer in order to be carried extreme distances across space. Today, I'll be sharing my design for the pilots in charge of commandeering spacetourers. An Aethernauts is an essential part of a nomad crew which is set out towards a new planet. Despite traveling faster than the speed of light, spacetourers still need months and sometimes even years to reach their destination. During this time, the artificial gravity inside of the spacetourer is turned off in order to preserve energy. So, for the duration of the trip, the crew is asleep inside of freeze tanks. Their bodies are stored in the exact state they were in when they departed, especially in order to avoid the effects of the zero gravity as well as the boring trip through the darkness of space. However, someone still needs to take the bullet and stay awake, commanding and steering the spacetourer through the space. And that's the role of an Aethernauts. The Aethernauts stays awake in zero gravity, in complete isolation from their sleeping crewmates, focused on ensuring their path is secure. They command the ship away from collisions with asteroids, planets, stars, but most importantly, they avoid getting too close to a black hole, which would immediately spell a death for all of them. Aethernauts are dressed in their iconic cloaks, which are cut shorter on one side than on the other. This was intentionally tailored to suit their needs, allowing them to stay warm at all times, but also letting them quickly access their hands when they must. A common misconception for the cloak's design is that it serves to give them access to a cane, because after such long journeys in zero gravity, many Aethernauts develop much weaker muscles and become quite unstable on land, so they have to rely on a cane to walk. Choosing to become an Aethernauts means a tremendous sacrifice on your body. It means spending so much time in zero gravity that your body adjusts, so a return to life on land means living with a handicap. Aethernauts also wear bright red goggles, which are directly linked to the spacetourer's central computer and constantly feed important traveling information. The goggles are connected to another smaller computer the size of a chip that is stored at the back of the head strap of the goggles. Originally, the computer was too large to fit back there, so it was stored inside of the hat instead, which is why the Aethernauts' hats are so tall. This hat became an iconic feature and represents the honorable status of becoming an Aethernaut. Now, it serves no function because the computer is so much smaller, but it's still given to initiates for their first journey as they earn the title of becoming an Aethernauts. When traveling, an Aethernauts spends most of their time inside of the cockpit of a spacetourer, looking through the aperture with their goggles on, scouting and allowing the computers to map their path, calculating potential collisions. The cockpit is a rounded space, with no clearly defined floor or ceiling, since any time spent inside apart from takeoff and landing is in zero gravity. All the walls are covered in buttons, levers, and screens, displaying information about the status of the spacetourer, relaying communication and data back home to the Dead Space Society, and ensuring that the journey is secure and safe. Because the Lightbulb Galaxy is mostly unknown and unmapped, the Aethernauts can't always know what to expect. In the event they begin to travel down a path with a potential collision, they have to adjust the course and get back on their original trajectory to save as much time for their crewmates. With each journey down a new course, space exploration becomes safer and more accessible, because the astronomers back in the Omuna system are collecting all the data being transferred to them from the Aethernauts' journey. I think the idea that one of the crewmates traveling in the spacetourer has to sacrifice their time, health, and sanity to protect the others is quite powerful, and it gives that much more meaning to every space journey. Aethernauts can't talk to another human being face to face for as long as they're traveling, and every day in zero gravity is destroying their bodies more and more. Being alone in space is also really just terrifying to think about. so the Aethernauts sacrifice becomes even more meaningful. I hope you enjoyed this entry in the world of Nomads Survive. Please let me know what you thought about it, and I hope I'll see you soon.